afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the super deluxe MPL version, Halloween version of MPL Insider. If you couldn't tell, it's
with
Halloween.
Jean.
With Jean and
special guest Jean.
And Emily, the bumpiest reindeer. And if it's not clear, I am here to rock and roll all night and party every day.
I believe it. I can't hardly look at you right now.
Why? Because I'm too beautiful?
Well, I mean, your beard is coming through the mouth area.
I know. Isn't that terrifying?
It looks like you're about to hack on a hairball.
I have hacked up a hairball. I can't really express to everyone watching just how hot and awful this mask is.
Why don't you take it off?
Should I?
Take her off.
Okay.
You don't need to subject yourself to that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. 1 second. Emily, tell them a funny story.
Well, very, very special news today. It is Tim's workversary. Is it 8 years? 7 years?
It is 8 years.
8 years at MPL.
And to celebrate, I wore a Gene Simmons mask.
Yes, because you're ready to party.
Well, that's the traditional 8th work anniversary offering to the public.
So congratulations.
Well, thank you. It's flown by like 8 years.
Yeah.
No, it's been I love being here, and it really doesn't seem like I've been here 8 years.
Yeah. I've been here 20 years total.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. I worked here when I was a teenager, left for a little bit, and then came back. So I'm on my 16-year streak right now, but I worked 4 years prior. So
you've been here twice as long as me.
Yeah, more than twice.
Well, I mean, consecutively twice as long.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And it's a pleasure being here. And if I wasn't here, if it wasn't my 8th year workversary, is that correct?
Yeah.
We wouldn't have been able to do this show.
I know. And this show is very, very exciting because I think everyone can agree Halloween is kind of a favorite holiday.
It's a favorite holiday. Yeah, I think overall.
The library has so many cool, like, spooktacular events coming.
Exactly.
And we have a lot of wonderful guests on the show today.
We do. It may be, well, it quite possibly could be our greatest lineup ever.
Could be.
What is your favorite Halloween movie? Your favorite scary movie to watch at Halloween?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm not going to lie. It's not even scary. It's more so just nostalgic. Hocus Pocus.
That isn't scary at all.
And I know, but you said Halloween movie after, so.
No.
It's more nostalgia. If you ask me what my favorite scary movie is, I don't know that I could. A Friday the 13th always freaked me out. Especially the part where she's in the bathroom and she sees the curtain kind of move.
Yeah.
That terrified me for a very long time.
I always want to tell Kevin Bacon, don't lay down on that bunk bed.
Yeah.
I doubt he'd listen, though.
I know, the throat thing.
What
about you?
I love, really, I thought that was very creative, though.
Yes.
I didn't see it coming when I was, 13 probably when I saw. I've met Kevin Bacon, but that's an episode for, that's a story for another episode. My favorite, I love the Hammer horror movies from the 60s, all the cheesy British, Dracula, Mummy, all those movies. They're just so much fun.
Yeah.
I love them. And I pretty much love any horror movie, and we'll talk about that much later in the show,
sure.
But it's a lot of fun. Before we get to our first incredible guest today, I did want to promote one quick thing because there are only 3 days left in this exhibition, the American Farmer Exhibition. It's on until Sunday at 4 p.m. and then it comes down almost immediately afterwards. So it's a great exhibition. Come and see it if you haven't had an opportunity. What it does, it really puts a face to something we don't think about all that much is where does our food come from?
Yeah.
And it shows what a diverse community it is. So if you get an opportunity, stop by Manitowoc Public Library anytime during regular operating hours by Sunday at 4 p.m. and you can see it. Otherwise, it's gone and you'll have missed it, which is sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's sad at any rate. So without further ado, let's probably... So we're going to jump right in because normally we do a bit more silliness beforehand, but we have a great guest first up, and I will bring him into the studio right now. Our first guest today is Chad Lewis, who is, well, I refer to you as a paranormal adventurer. I don't know if that is accurate, but in my mind, it's accurate anyhow. So, Chad, welcome to the show.
Happy October to all of you.
Yay! So, tell people a little bit about yourself that are watching who may not be familiar with your work.
Sure. Well, my background's in the field of psychology, but for the last 30 years, I've been traveling the world in search of the strange, the bizarre, and the unusual. From mysterious creatures to UFOs to haunted and cursed places. You name it, I'll be there.
So how does one make the journey from getting a degree in psychology to, studying cryptozoology and the paranormal and, ufology?
I blame it on Wisconsin. In fact, I grew up near one of the 3 UFO capitals of the world we have here in our state. So when I was in high school, I heard of people seeing UFOs in Elmwood, Wisconsin. I was in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So I started interviewing these people. And then that fall, I started studying psychology at college. And that's what I was really interested in, is why some people believe in this stuff and others do not.
Oh.
So I started lecturing about that, and it just kind of went from there. I ended up doing my master's thesis on students' belief in the paranormal and never looked back.
What conclusions did you draw? Why do you think some people fully invest in it and other people just completely shun it? What did you conclude?
The biggest one should be no surprise that if somebody's had an experience with the phenomenon, they're more likely to believe in it. If you've seen a UFO or Bigfoot, you're probably more likely to believe in it than someone who has not. But interestingly, I also found that if you knew of somebody, say a grandparent or a best friend that had an experience, that also meant you were more likely to believe in the possibility of it. And then, of course, I found a lot of gender differences of women believing more in ESP, telepathy, out-of-body experiences, things you might consider internal. Whereas men were more likely statistically to believe in vampires, werewolves, sea serpents, and the like, things you could go hunt and capture. So I found that fascinating too.
Yeah. Is it wrong that I wouldn't mind becoming a vampire?
I think that's the question. Most people pose this time of year. Would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf? And that's a very interesting question. And I like hearing people's answers.
Which camp do you fall into?
Oh, werewolf, 100%.
Really?
I mean, yes, you have the immortality with a vampire, but you're stuck in the nighttime. You're drinking blood, where werewolf, you just kind of are normal for a while and then transform every once in a while. Maybe like college kids going out on a night binge or something,
You are conveniently leaving out the eating of human flesh, though.
Yeah, there's that. What are you guys picking?
Oh, vampire, 100%.
Vampire.
See, I feel like I would probably pick vampire because, I already have to deal with shaving my legs and stuff like that. And just to have full body hair, I mean, I do kind of, I guess, transition part werewolf in the wintertime. Because I'm definitely not.
I can neither confirm nor deny this statement. But Chad, have you ever seen the movie What We Do in the Shadows?
I haven't. So many people have recommended that to me.
It's a great movie.
It's just such a fun movie. The TV series is fun in its own way. They're completely separate. But in the movie, they encounter. I think it's set in Auckland, New Zealand. The vampires encounter a group of werewolves. And the head of the werewolves is trying to always get the werewolves to act a bit more refined, even though they all wear down vests and flannel and jeans rolled up a little bit. They look like a motorcycle gang that just doesn't quite know what to do with themselves. And one of his fellow werewolves uses a curse word. And he turns to him and he goes, "Hey, we're werewolves, not swearwolves." And that is one of my favorite improv lines of all time.
That's too good.
So I did want to tell you one quick anecdote, and it was about when my daughter was home, and this has nothing to do with the paranormal, but we were watching The Unexplained, the William Shatner show that you've appeared on, and you were on, and then directly after you were on, one of her professors, she was going to USC at the time, she had just finished taking a class about how folklore and folk horror intertwine. And you were on, and then he was on, and we both turned to each other at the same time, and we were like, "Hey, I know that guy." And so it was unexpected, but a real pleasure to have that moment with my daughter. Thanks to you. But let's get on to the subject matter.
The event.
The event at hand, and this is coming up a week from today at 6 p.m. in the Balkansky Room. Wisconsin's most haunted locations with Chad Lewis. So, we talked about this a little bit, but what can people expect, if they come to this next week, Thursday?
This is going to be a visual road trip to the most haunted locations our state has to offer. I'll provide the background, the folklore, the eyewitness accounts, my research, and then leave it up to people to travel to these places on their own and determine whether or not they think these legends are true. But we're going to be covering everything from cursed graveyards to ghost ships to serial killers, you name it. If it's bizarre, I've thrown it into this program.
Awesome.
That's going to be an amazing program.
Yeah.
And I feel like every time you've come to our library, Chad, it's been like a full house. It's just what you talk about, I feel like, is just such a draw, especially this time of year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will come that might not necessarily even believe in these stories, but this time of the year, they're excited. They're into the Halloween spirit.
Yeah.
They want to have fun. So we get a great mix of people from not only ages, but also beliefs.
Yeah. And I think, that like the width of it being a true story also attracts people, especially this time of year. It's not a CGI animated, CGI generated film character. It's something that actually happened in our state that quite possibly may have happened. And it's easier to believe this time of year that it may have happened.
And I've thrown in a lot of true crime stories that are based on the supernatural as well, because as you probably know, true crime is so popular now. And a lot of people don't realize we have a lot of true crime stories in Wisconsin that now are thought to be cursed locations or haunted, vengeful spirits. So I've thrown in a lot of that as well.
Very cool. Awesome. And I can tell you one person who is way into true crime sitting right next to me.
Well, it's just one of those things. It just gets my attention.
Yeah. Well, I imagine you'll be there next Thursday.
Well, I'm going to try to be. Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead. No.
Well, what I wanted to ask Chad was, in your opinion, do you consider to be the most haunted location in Wisconsin or even outside?
That's a great question, because it could be someplace nobody's ever heard of and things are happening, but for me, it's one that gets a lot of publicity because then people go there and have more experiences, talk about it, and the circle continues and continues. One place where a lot of people have all sorts of odd experiences is in Plainfield, Wisconsin, known for Ed Gein. And if any of your listeners or viewers have never heard of him, don't Google him. You'll be cursing my name. But a lot of people go to his old farmstead and have weird things happen. One woman asked me if I thought she could be cursed by visiting his old farm, because when she went there, she was involved in a fender bender on the way home, but nothing too bad. So she kept driving. Then she hit a deer and was able to keep driving and ran out of gas all on the way home after visiting his farm. So she thought she had been cursed by going to such a horrific location.
What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely do not like it. Now, I'm not one to pick up on feelings or energy or any of that, but just knowing the grisly history of getting there, walking around, knowing the deeds that were done is not my favorite thing. And oftentimes for me, the scariest thing is the human-based ones where when it does talk about the gruesome side of things rather than a werewolf walking down Bray Road, I'm most likely not going to be killed by that werewolf. And I know that. Right. But yet it's still creepy. But yet there's a possibility that deranged lunatic might be of more danger to me than a chupacabra.
Sure, all things considered, I'd say that's probably a very safe assumption. Are there any locations in Manitowoc that you'll be talking about? I'm not asking you to tell what they are, but is anything going to be from here in your presentation next week?
Yes, lots of stuff in the area and in the city. I'll be talking about the Karsten Inn in Kewaunee, the Haunted Hotel, Maribel Caves, the old portal to hell there, and also some Lake Michigan stories of not only a few sea serpent legends, but also ghost ships, including the Christmas tree ship, which seems to be the most viewed ship on Lake Michigan, even though it went down over 100 years ago to its watery grave. So I'm going to be talking about stuff where people can not only hear about it, but then go visit it and explore for themselves.
Yeah, that is super cool. Yeah. That you kind of give people a starter kit for looking into the supernatural and paranormal in their own area. I love that. One
thing I remember always hearing about, I don't know, Chad, if you're familiar or if this is on the list, but the JFK Prep in St. Nazianz. I remember just when I was a teenager, I was always like, don't go there. Like, that place is severely haunted. And, it's got such an eerie look to it now. And, are you familiar with that place?
Yeah, everyone from the region has gone out to JFK Prep. And I always advise people, if they're going out there, try to get permission, because there have been a lot of trespassing tickets. Yeah. Also bring a mask so all the asbestos doesn't get you while you're out there. Yeah. But it is a downright creepy area out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and especially, at Maribel Caves too, ever since that tornado essentially destroyed the building, just the look of it has gotten creepier even, and I can buy that it's a portal to hell.
And I've had so many people contact me after programs and tell me that their grandparents were married at the Maribel Caves, or they had a reception there. All kinds of fun activity. It must have been quite the place back in the day, before people thought it was cursed and that books would burst into flames if you brought them into the building. And so I've dug up a lot of history of that place. And for me, that's a lot of the fun of it, the history and mystery, that when you go to these places, hopefully something weird happens. But if it doesn't, you're going to have a wonderful adventure. You're going to learn about your community and the state. And it'll be a lot of fun, regardless of whether, that axe wielding murderous woman chases you down the road.
But even better if she does.
Yes, definitely.
Well, cool. I have a little bit of that every day. Trust me. But she's fun, so it's okay. Well, Chad, thank you so much for coming on the show. The program is next week, a week from today at 6 p.m. Show up early, though. Doors open at 5:30, so that we anticipate, a full house.
Usually is. Yep.
So get here early, get yourself a seat. Wisconsin's most haunted locations with Chad Lewis, and that takes place, like I said, at 6 p.m. next Thursday, the 24th, in the Balkanski Community Room. And Chad, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been a real pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Keep an eye out, guys.
We will. Thank you. Bye-bye. Well, that was fantastic.
I just love this. This subject is just so fun for me.
I do too. And I love this time of year. I mean, I love spooky time. It's the best time. And having Chad on is just great, because I love how he approaches things. There's a real joy to it.
Yeah.
And most people who present like paranormal things try so hard to be scary.
Yes, I was just gonna say that. They try to be spooky.
Yeah. And I remember the first time I saw a picture of Chad, I thought it looked like Gordon Ramsay had been put in a fly chamber with Sean Penn.
I feel like I remember the first time I saw him too. I said, he looks very much like Sean Penn.
Yeah. And but he has a much better sense of humor, at least in public, than Sean Penn does. So everyone, show up next week, and next week, Thursday, a week from today, 6 p.m. But now let's move on to other spooky
special guests
at the library. I'm going to play this. Not that one.
Not that one.
This. So there is a whole slew of library programming for this time of year, the spookiest season of all.
Yep.
That was generated by people in the library, not just bringing a great guest in. But so without further ado, I am going to bring in Public Services Associate Lisa Devins-Horohoe. Oh my goodness. And Youth Services Manager Sharon Verbeten. Hello.
Welcome.
Don't have my spooky donuts here.
Don't stop eating spooky donuts on our account.
There better be some for us.
No product placement here.
Yes, yeah, we didn't. They didn't pay for that plug. We're just giving it to them for free.
I paid for the donuts.
Well, they look delicious.
Are they as delicious as they look?
You'll have to stop by and get some before.
All right.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
That's all it takes is a bucket of donuts? Well,
or a bucket of bacon.
Just a bucket of something you like.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Lisa and Sharon, you've both been on the show before, so I don't care which of you want to start, but give the viewers a lay of the land for what you do at the library quickly. Just in case.
You go first. Okay, I'll go first. Okay. So I am a notary, and I am also the volunteer coordinator. So I am responsible for getting people in the building to help with different programs. We have a focus right now to try to get more teens in the building to get their community service and having, different projects that they can work on.
It's awesome.
And Sharon, have you finished
I play
your
with kids
donut?
and eat donuts, so that's what I do.
I want her job.
As youth services manager, I oversee our upstairs youth department, youth and teens. And as Lisa said, definitely want to get some more teens in, help them get their volunteer hours. So everything our department does, including story times, our trunk or treat that's coming up next week, our fun event. So I think people forget we're more than just books, lots of programs. So lots of fun. Everything is free to bring your kids to.
How can they forget, since we say it on our Facebook page and our website, Manitowoc Public Library, so much more than books? How can they forget?
We just got to keep reminding. That's okay.
Yep. Repetition.
Happy to remind.
That's why everyone knows the words for Hey Jude, because they've heard it played on the radio so much that you can't look away from it. I have one follow-up question.
Okay.
Quickly, favorite Halloween movie?
Me?
Both.
Oh, for sure. I agree with Emily on Hocus Pocus. Love that so much. But my very favorite of all time, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Which qualifies as both a Christmas and a Halloween movie.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. And Lisa?
Okay, I love everything scary. Everything scary. My favorite horror movie, like scary movie of all times, is Silence of the Lambs. But my favorite to watch at Halloween is the first Halloween. I just love it.
Yep.
Kind of camp, kind of fun.
Now, seriously, is Silence of the Lambs a horror movie? Isn't it a thriller? A psychological thriller, except for, the couple of mutilation scenes.
Well,
and Buffalo Bill.
And the serial killer.
Isn't it crazy that he went on to be the head detective in the series Monk?
I know.
It's crazy. It's because he absolutely couldn't find work for a long time because he was so convincing in that role. People assumed that's all he could
He's
do.
a scary person.
Yeah. And he's not. Like, you see him in interviews and he's an aw shucks horse riding kind of guy.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, great.
What were you going to ask?
Well, no, I was going to start diving into the events because, we've got a lot of ground to cover here with events.
All right.
And we got to get these ladies out of here for their next meeting.
Let's do.
So we want to make sure that we give them enough time to talk about the amazing Halloween stuff and spooky stuff we got going on. So Tim will bring the first one up, and then I think Sharon,
and Sharon, it falls to you, and it's something that's going on this evening.
Tonight. I'm excited.
Yes.
Yeah, silly and sort of spooky, so not too spooky, really. The donuts may make an appearance.
Part of the scariness be trying to understand you with a mouthful of donuts.
You just gave me a great idea. Yeah, so myself and I have a colleague that I'm bringing in special from the Brown County area, Mr. Pete, former librarian, who's going to be joining me. And we have some, our big silly story we're telling is called The Creepy Pair of Underwear. Woo. And, there's anything to be spooky on Halloween. So we're doing that. We're going to do some a fun pumpkin story, some storytelling. And so it's all ages welcome, no registration needed. Just come, and again, not going to be very scary, just be kind of a fun, it's a great way for us to test an evening story time. We don't usually do evening story times. I have had requests from people who can't come during the day.
Right.
So I hope to see you guys tonight.
Yay. And
So what time does that start?
That's at 6 p.m.
Volkansky ABC or
I think we've got BC.
okay. So enter through the youth services department
Correct.
for silly and sort of spooky story time. All right. So that's this
Awesome.
evening. Now we jump to next week, and this is one of the most popular events that we have at the library all year.
So last year we had about 1,700 people come through. So that gives you an idea of how parking will be. So keep in mind, from 5:30 to 7, we have about 26 community organizations who will be distributing food, brochures, swag, fun stuff, from decorated trunks, and costumes are welcome and all ages. And it's a great time. Again, it will be a little bit of a log jam around 8th and Quay that night, just so you're aware.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for good weather.
Yes.
If weather does not cooperate, we will cancel the event. We will not try to stuff that many people indoors.
That was last year, right?
2 years ago.
Oh, 2
That
years
was-
ago.
Before I got here, and I'm
Yep.
like, no, not happening. So
Well, I couldn't leave the library. I was scheduled to leave the library, and people had just taken to parking on Quay Street. The whole street was blockaded. You couldn't get out of
Oh
here.
my God.
It was insane.
So
There
we're
was
gonna
But-
be safe.
3,000 people.
Yeah,
We're
it
gonna be
was
safe,
mental.
and we're gonna count on good weather. And I mean, it's just a great alternative if you don't want to take your kids outside around the neighborhood, or this is just a great, safe alternative. It's the local nonprofits, so we're happy to offer it. It's well attended each year.
Oh yeah, and I feel like it's the one thing that I would, just from taking my son to trunk or treat in the past, it's nice because it's not always just like candy. Like there's like stickers and just like other little like kind of unique items that you don't typically get while trick or treating. So I think that makes it kind of fun too.
Yeah, we won't be like Oprah, like you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. But, we'll
then
have
I won't be there.
bookmarks from us, stickers, just fun, fun stuff, and learn about your local nonprofits. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great way to just chat with the police department or chat with the fire department or United Way and learn what they do, and I don't get to know your community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to be clear, no cars will be given away that evening.
I mean, maybe little ones, but
Okay.
No
Not-
drivable ones.
Not drivable ones. Smaller than a clown
It'll
car.
be
even.
fun. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
it. I'll be leading some. We will be monitoring traffic at Quay and the parking lot, doing our very best. We have some volunteers coming to help out, so to make it the safest it possibly can be.
That's great. And so this is next week, Tuesday, October 22nd from 5:30 to 7. And it's going to be across the street from the library in the Breeze parking lot. And once again, if the weather is not cooperating, it's just unfortunately going to be canceled.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of sprinkles still come.
No biggie.
We get torrential downpours, lightning, snow.
I was going to say, or like last year, a snowstorm.
Well, how much snow? Like if it's just like a dusting of snow, will it continue?
I mean, I think we're gonna, we'll decide the morning of, but let's just not even think about snow.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a sunshiny, wonderful day.
Like today.
Like today. And happening simultaneously while Trunk or Treat is going on, we have the spooktacular costume contest. Lisa,
Woo!
tell us
Yeah.
about the spooktacular.
So while you're trunk or treating, just come inside to MPL. We're going to be set up in the teen hangout. We're going to have a cool backdrop that you can take your picture in front of. We were really surprised last year. We thought we'd have 1 or 2 people come, and we had like 150 people show up.
Wow.
So that's why we moved it downstairs. We're definitely more prepared this year. We're also going to break it into groups. So we're going to have a youth category that's, from infant to around 12, then teen/adult, that's 13 and up, and then a group category, because we had a lot of families come and have themed costumes, so that, and there's going to be a prize for each of those. What we're going to do a little bit different than last year, we just posted all the pictures on Facebook last year, and we're not going to do that this year. We're going to have a group from MPL go through the pictures and choose 5 to 10 for each category. And we're looking for creativity, authenticity, presentation. Is it original? We're looking for those kinds of things.
Great.
Cool. And now, let's say trunk or treat gets rained out, which isn't going to happen. If trunk or treat got rained out, would the costume contest still be going on since it's inside?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Okay, so it's never going to happen. There's no way it's going to happen. But just in case it would, and you said this is taking place, the teen scene, the teen hangout.
Yes.
But first floor, tucked away in the northwest corner of the building, correct?
Kind of like that rotunda room.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're asking people to come in, and we're going to take down your name and give you a number so that we can keep track of all the people, because like I said, last year we had a lot of people. We're going to start at 5:30 and go to have registration till 6:45, just so that we're done by 7 o'clock. Because that was also the thing last year. We had a big line down the stairs and of people waiting. So register between 5:30 and 6:45.
Perfect.
Is there a scarifying backdrop?
It's more silly and spooky than scarifying, because we don't want to terrify the little children.
Yeah.
Is that policy? Is that something I need to know about?
Yes.
Okay, good. I won't wear the Gene Simmons mask around the library.
No.
I mean, that terrified me, and I'm not a child.
Well,
and we're also asking the costumes be family friendly.
Right.
So nothing overtly, gross.
So like dressing like a character from, say, Longlegs wouldn't necessarily be the best thing.
Well, no, probably not.
All right.
Probably not.
Unless it's the first time you see
have a few patrons that look like Longlegs.
Just normally, are you saying?
Well, no, I really feel like we have some patrons that do look like Longlegs. I'm not going to say who, but yeah.
Does Nicolas Cage come to our library?
Probably.
All right.
Yes.
You heard it here. You heard it here first from Lisa Devins-Horohoe. All right. So, Spooktacular Costume Contest, Trunk or Treat, happening on this at the same time, 5:30 to 7, next Tuesday, October 22nd. Then a couple days later on the 24th, Chad Lewis has his presentation, Wisconsin's Most Haunted Places, 6 p.m., Volkansky Room. And then, now this isn't really scary, except that people don't necessarily like talking about it. But Sharon, I thought I would put this in the mix as well. It's not exactly a Halloween event, but it's
happening around the time.
Yeah, it's happening around the time, and people do find it a little uneasy to talk about. But you're here to make that different.
Absolutely. I've been a writer in the funeral industry for many years, in addition to being a librarian, and I think it's super important to normalize something that happens to all of us, right? So Nobody wants to think about death, but this program is going to speak to not only pre-planning for what happens down the road, but we're also going to have an artist come in and work on an art project for memorializing a lost loved one. And then I will be teaching an obit writing class as well. So it's a whole day, 3 different classes. You can come to one, come to all, hoping to normalize an often scary topic.
Yeah, and that's Saturday, October 26th.
26th, 10 a.m. till 2 p.m., correct? In the Balkansky room.
Correct.
And if people want a little bit more, because we're trying to move it along, just to make sure today, if people want to hear more about Death in a Nutshell, tune in next Wednesday to Coffee on the Coast. Sharon's going to be on there, and also the funeral director from Harrigan Parkside is going to be joining you as well. So that one will have a little more information on that one specifically. And then the last thing for the specific season is What You Watching. That is going to be a panel of 3 people led by MPL's movie maven, Matt Model. I love alliteration, and it's nice of his parents to have named him such and for him to like movies as much as he does. Next 2 weeks from today, on Halloween itself, from 6 to 7, live streaming on Facebook and our YouTube channel, Matt is putting a panel of 3 together, and all we're going to be talking about is scary movies. That's for the entire thing. So that's at 6 p.m. YouTube and Facebook. And if you want to participate in the show, please feel free to put your comments on YouTube or Facebook and join the discussion. We're breaking it down into 3 different categories, talking about what horror movies you love, what horror movies you hate, what makes horror movies so popular with a huge audience. So these things are the sweep of everything that is happening at the library during this season. Silly and sort of spooky story time this evening at Manitowoc Public Library, Balkansky room at 6. Then next week, Tuesday, Trunk or Treat and the Spooktacular Costume Contest happening from 5:30 to 7. Breeze parking lot and the teen scene area on the first floor. Death in a Nutshell. In between on the 24th is Chad Lewis's Most Haunted Places program. Then Death in a Nutshell, which isn't a Halloween program per se, but it happens during Halloween season and deserves to be put out there so that people know about it. And then closing on Halloween itself with What You Watching. Now, I would imagine that you thought you might be out of here on this, but that would be incorrect because it is. All right. This will come as no shock to either of you, but our trivia for today is based on Halloween. So we have 5 questions.
And you guys can work together.
Work as a team.
But you have to get majority. So 5 questions you have to get. Let's see. 1, 2. Wait, no, there's 6 questions.
There are 6. There are 6 questions.
So you have to get at least 4.
You have to get at least 4, but there are bonus possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
makes me very nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Okay.
You're very
just take a deep breath and pretend you're eating a donut hole.
And like I said, you guys can work together on this. Okay, first question.
Here we go.
When was Halloween first celebrated in the United States?
Within a decade.
I mean,
the 20s or 30s?
You go on this one. I have no clue.
I'm going to go turn of the century, like 1900s.
I have to find the answer. Sorry. It is circa 1840.
Ah, wow.
Yeah.
That's
it's been a while.
Question.
That's okay. You still have time to get.
You still have time. There's lots of room here, and so it was thought that Irish immigrants are the people that brought 2 of their autumnal traditions from Ireland with them to the States that ultimately shaped Halloween. What are those two traditions?
Drinking?
That's not. That's potatoes. Potatoes and drinking are
I
traditional.
mean, let's say like maybe pumpkins and
Could we help them out and let
telling
them know
stories?
It's, like,
I don't know.
Holiday.
They're more official occurrences or
Like
celebrations.
Yeah.
Celebrations rather
think
than
like that.
The
And
harvest? Something about the harvest? Or these are hard.
Well, I think they get easier.
Okay. Well,
Really
But-
hard.
celebrating the
Something
harvest
like-
and celebrating
The equinox,
the
like,
equinox. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes.
The autumnal equinox.
equinox, yes.
That is incorrect.
Oh,
It is
gosh.
All Saints Day and Samhain, which is a Gaelic tradition of telling horror stories that are scarier than the nights becoming longer.
I'm gonna need some more donuts. This is really
Oh, fun fact. When I was growing up, because I went to parochial school, we always loved being in parochial school because we have the day after Halloween off because it's All Saints Day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. See, really, All Saints Day is to celebrate the people that are already in heaven.
Yes.
Samhain is also to celebrate the people that aren't in heaven. Essentially.
Are these getting easier?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, these are really
yes, okay.
hard.
boy, I don't know.
I mean, okay.
I did-
I remember, I think it was Lisa who said this was her favorite movie.
Yes.
So we'll see how well you know your favorite horror movie. Favorite horror movie. I should say. Okay. The next question is, in the classic horror movie Halloween, the unstoppable killer, Michael Myers, wears a full head white mask to hide his face. From which celebrity's face was this mask cast?
Oh. And I did know this.
I'll give you a slight hint.
Okay.
He was mentioned in this episode.
Yeah, he was mentioned earlier in this episode.
Nicholas Cage. No. Okay, wait.
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn.
Who? No.
Sean Penn?
No,
Was mentioned in this
Sean
episode.
Penn would have been like 8 years old when the movie was made, or like
He was
14.
mentioned in this episode?
Yep.
In our discussions with Chad.
In our discussions with Chad Lewis.
Oh, the guy who plays Spock, Leonard Nimoy.
You're close.
William
It's
Shatner.
not- Ding, 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 ding. That is correct. William Shatner.
Oh, William Shatner.
And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Yeah, he did a death mask specifically
Oh.
for him to win. So you have one correct.
Okay.
One correct. You are on the road to getting your prize. All right. According to Real Simple, the magazine,
Uh-huh.
what is the most popular trick-or-treat candy in the United States?
Snickers.
Recess.
I will tell you that one of you are correct and one
Oh.
is incredibly wrong. Talk amongst yourselves.
I think I'm going to go with Sharon.
I don't know. This is for a prize, so I think you're right with Snickers.
Oh, are you sure? Is that your final answer?
I think it's Reese's.
I think it's
Let's go Reese's, Lisa.
Reese's is correct.
All right.
Fun fact, also the most popular treat in Wisconsin
Reese's?
is Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, it's Skittles. Go figure.
Oh.
I mean, one Skittle is fine. Okay, so
Okay.
two you got. Now we're coming up on questions that have bonus answers within them.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So this question, it's a question and then there's a bonus and then a super bonus. And are we marking those as 1 point or a half point?
since they have two, let's go with half point.
Okay. According to Business Insider, what is the most popular Halloween costume in the United States for children?
This year?
I think
Or
it's
just
just
in general?
like
Just in general. It was an aggregate of the past 5 years.
I mean, Probably superhero.
Yeah.
You think? I mean, some kind of superhero.
Can you be more specific?
Spider-Man. Superman.
Oh, Spider-Man. All right, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
That is
All right.
correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
And there
Okay.
were a lot of pictures of girls dressed as Spider-Man, which I think is great. But I wasn't aware of it because our daughter's 25 now, so we don't know what she dresses as for Halloween anymore.
So, bonus point. What about adults?
For this year?
Well,
The aggregate.
overall.
Well, it's probably not librarian.
Well, it should be.
That was second.
Adult.
Adult. It is it like female or male, or is it just?
It doesn't matter. Nobody cares at Halloween anymore about sticking to gender-specific roles in their costumes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Adults, would they dress like a beer? I mean,
I have seen beer costumes, and there's Beer Man, or what is his name from The Simpsons? That is a costume.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess adults, maybe would adults go for scary? Would they dress like a vampire or something? Or?
I was going to say, think of a very traditional costume to wear for Halloween.
Well, pirate, vampire, witch or wizard?
Witch. Yes.
Don't look at me, Tim.
Witch.
Yes.
All right.
That is correct.
Okay.
You
And
are
then-
a half a point away
Actually,
from winning.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Super bonus. What is what costume for pets?
Oh.
I'm thinking like a hot dog or something because the little dogs, I mean,
Oh.
do they dress? I don't have a pet, so I don't.
Oh.
Sharon, that's a mighty nice shirt you're wearing.
Oh, a pumpkin. Yes.
It's
I believe that's a
blazer thing.
blazer.
This is my
Sure.
David S. Pumpkins blazer.
All right, we're at 4. So we have 2 more questions.
We have 2 more questions,
wanted
but
to
you
see
don't
if
have
you
to
know.
worry about them because you get the prize.
Okay.
According to the Travel Channel, what is the most haunted state in the United States?
Well, where is Area 51?
I believe that's in New Mexico.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that haunted? I don't know.
No, that's
I mean,
not
that's like
haunted.
alien,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
alien territory.
I'm thinking like somewhere like New England.
That is not a state.
No. But I'm saying somewhere up in New
Yeah.
England.
So why don't we just say Maine? I don't know. That's in New England.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, it doesn't matter if you get it right or wrong.
Oh, Massachusetts.
Oh,
Salem
yes,
Witch
Massachusetts. Yes. Yes.
Massachusetts.
That is incorrect. It is California.
I know.
Because
weird,
it's so
huh?
big. And here's the blurb: from Alcatraz to the Winchester Mystery House in the Bay Area to the Queen Mary in Long Beach and all the way to the Amargosa Opera House in Death Valley, the entire state is crawling with paranormal activity. The result also showed that Los Angeles is America's most haunted city, with the Manson murders, the Black Dahlia mystery, and the infamous Pico House, among many others. It seems that the city of angels is also the city of ghosts.
Wow.
Yeah. And bonus, where does Wisconsin fall in the rankings? 1 through 50.
50. Well, we did have Ed Gein, though. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and we had, Robert Bloch and Psycho. And
Jeffrey
I don't know.
Dahmer.
Dahmer, The Beast of Bray Road.
Yes.
I don't think we're in the top 10, though. I'm going to go 15.
Yeah. 15.
The correct answer is 34th.
What?
Tied with New Hampshire, South Dakota, South Carolina, Oklahoma, and Minnesota.
All right. Well,
But
you
regardless,
guys are winners, and
your prize, which you can pick up at the office,
It's donuts. No.
is candy.
Oh!
Reese's
love
the most
candy.
popular candy. Look at that.
2 bags of candy that were assembled by a very trustworthy veterinarian that I happen to know. And they are exactly even. So stop by the office and pick up your candy.
Yes.
I'm going
Now,
to do that.
I know that you probably thought you were absolutely done. However,
all right, we're gonna do like rapid fire because Sharon's got to go somewhere.
yes.
So
Here we go.
you can both of you. I want you to answer. What is your favorite sandwich?
God, rapid fire. I don't.
Gyro.
Vegetarian, Mediterranean veggie.
That's a good one. They're both good ones.
Yes.
I enjoy both. What does your ideal day look like?
Book, blanket, bed.
Movies, wine, blanket.
All right. If you could move to any city in the United States, what would your city of choice be?
San Diego, if I could afford it.
I'm gonna say it's probably gone now, but Anna Maria Island in Florida.
Yeah, it might be gone.
Yeah, well, I've seen pictures of it. It's
Yeah.
pretty sad, but it's such a beautiful place.
My sister-in-law was in Asheville, and that is almost just gone too.
Oh,
I mean,
I
it's
know.
crazy. Anyway, what is your favorite book?
I mean, Where the Wild Things Are.
I'm also gonna say Silence of the Lambs. I love that book.
Yeah.
All right. And lastly, what number is Emily and Tim currently thinking of?
13.
Oh yeah, 13. That's good.
It's a spooky number.
Yeah.
That's incorrect.
72.
72. But 13 is a spooky number.
I know. We should have thought of that.
I actually, when I was in New York, the poster auction house I worked for was on the 13th floor of the Starrett Lehigh building.
I thought they didn't make 13.
Yeah, I
floors.
thought they didn't make 13s.
It's not common, but they
Yeah.
still do.
Okay.
They still do
Wow.
occasionally.
Anywho,
So
thank you, ladies.
thank you. Now
for being
everyone
here.
knows your inside self even
Yep.
better because of these questions. Enjoy the donuts.
Stop
Come
by
get
and get
your
donuts.
candy.
I will be.
And thank you for being on the show today.
Thank
It was a
you.
blast.
Super fun.
Have a great meeting. Have a great time doing whatever you're doing, Lisa. And we'll see you around the library.
There we go.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, golly gee, that was fun.
I know. I just love Halloween so much.
Halloween's great. Our guests were great.
Mhm.
We have a lot of great stuff coming up at the
Yeah.
library. We're great.
Yeah.
Gene
You know,
Simmons is
yeah.
great.
You know what's going to be great though? Next month.
Oh, next month.
Which is, it's just, I don't even know what to say about it. It is going to be such a weird episode because we have got the world's largest collection of Lisas at the library. So we've invited all the Lisas that work here to be on our show next month.
Yep.
Which,
And next month is going to be our last episode for the year.
Mhm.
We're not going to do it in December because everyone is so busy flying around,
Yeah.
that December just isn't a great time to have a show. So to celebrate our last show, we're having a Lisa Palooza.
Yep.
And it's going to be fantastic. And we also have, other super guests on the show too. It's just
Mhm.
going to be so much fun.
Yep.
But the Lisa episode is the episode we've been building towards.
Yes, I'm so excited for it because each Lisa does something entirely different.
Yes.
So it's just going to be kind of fun to show everybody.
Yeah. It's
Some of these
real
people
behind
haven't been
scenes
on the
look.
show yet either. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It'll be
great.
awesome. So
Next
thank you
month.
so much for tuning in. And really, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us. And remember the great programs we have coming up really within the next 2 weeks at the library for this time of year, from the silly to the spooky
Mhm.
to everything in between. And have a great Halloween season, everyone. And until next time,
Bye.
bye.